Hey everybody, welcome to eachother.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Yakima FatCat EVO 4 here on our 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness. So this is going to be a pretty decent way of getting our snowboards and our skis to wherever the slopes might be taking us. Now, a couple of reasons I like this guy. Big one for me is we actually have a locking capability. So what that's great for is actually locking this up right, making sure that our skis and our boards are staying on top of our vehicle when we are leaving it unattended. And it just does a great job of actually securing our boards and our skis. They're not going to be going anywhere. We know they're nice and tight and secure on here, which is great. Now, there is going to be the FatCat EVO 6 out there, which can kind of raise your capabilities with this guy as well. So if you maybe have a few more boarders in the family, that can be a great option as well. And we'll kind of give you the different dimensions on that as we take a closer look at our carrier later. But I really do like how this works. You're seeing here we have our skis and our boards. Now, I am seeing just a little bit of interaction with my bindings there in the back end of my Subaru, but fear not, if you are having larger bindings like you're seeing here today and you don't quite like that little rub you might have, we actually have a way of getting our back elements tilted up out of the way, making a little bit more room for our bindings, which is great. Well, the construction of this is pretty nice too. You do have a main construction of aluminum here. Of course, you have plastic elements, but what I like about that, going to be resistant to a lot of corrosion, which we're going to be in those wet environments. Our snow is going to be melting on top of here a little bit. So I like that it's going to be resistant to anything starting to break it down, and it's going to keep that nice little mirror black finish that it has on it. A couple things about it too. It does have a 92.6 pound weight capacity. So I think most of us are going to be pretty okay with our boards and our skis getting up on there. That's a lot of weight, of course. But overall, I do like how this guy works. Even if you do have just like mittens on or your gloves on that are not allowing you to use your dexterous fingers, all you got to do, as you can see, use that heel of your palm, walk it right up, and you can actually get it disengaged. And then bringing it down, you can see it closes quite well. One thing that's really interesting about this too, we do have a double hinge in the back. So that makes it a lot easier to actually get your boards kind of set all the way to that end and still close it really, really easy. Some carriers, you know, you get to this position and you're stuck right here because your board's too thick in the back. Well, with the FatCat here, we're not too worried about it. It is going to go ahead and modify itself to conform to our boards and clasp here at the end. So you guys might have noticed that we don't actually have this on factory bars here on our Subaru. Now we do have the raised rail elements here, and I am using 59-inch crossbars for myself, and that's given us a pretty decent overhang. In fact, I could probably bring our entire carrier out just a little bit more on our vehicle, and that's excellent for giving you more room on the other side, but makes it a lot easier to start accessing this right here, and that way, you know, I can get up close to my vehicle and still get to my boards, which is great. Well, I went ahead and took off our boards and our skis just to start taking a look at the carrier itself. You can see here, pretty easy to move this up and down, which is great. And I do like how these rubber elements work. We have one main rubber piece here at the top and then two side pieces, and that simply clamps down. And you can see pretty safe for my hands too, which is great. Not gonna be damaging your boards or your skis. And in the off season, this can be excellent for fishing rods as well. Albeit, make sure those hooks aren't getting caught in your rubber. We definitely don't wanna be damaging this at all. But I really do like how this works. You can see that double hinge can really get up and out of the way. And even when it's down here at the bottom, can still clamp down, which is great. So I love that we're accounting for that, especially getting those bigger boards on the inside is great. And I really do like how this system works. Of course, that locking core there on the outside is excellent. Love that nobody can actually get to it if I give that a lock. And we can utilize Yakima's same key system to start getting all of our locking cores key alike to a variety of other accessories, which is great. Now, talking about how this actually mounts up here, you can see we have 2 foot pads holding us on. And one thing that's pretty nice about this, if you were to say maybe not have this on your Subaru for some reason, you can actually tilt these guys a little bit. And that's excellent for something like your RAV4s out there, those Priuses, things that have a little bit more of a curve to the roof. Now, luckily today on the Subaru, not the biggest issue for us. We've kept it nice and straight, but how you access that, you have these little guys here on the inside, and all we need to do, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, that actually secures our tilt of our device. And that's actually what we're gonna have to undo to actually get access here to our clamp. Now, how these clamps work, we just have a rubber coated metal strip here that goes underneath our crossbars and a little device here that we can tighten it or loosen it up. Works really, really well. I like how quick and easy it is. If you used any other Yakima's products, you might already be kind of familiar with this type of clamp-on device, and it does work really, really well, making it easy to work for a variety of bars out there, factory, aero, elliptical, round, square, whatever you name it. Probably gonna have an A-OK time gripping on here because I really do like how this clamp system works. So we do have it up here in the back, which is excellent. Now our bindings are gonna have no trouble fitting on the roof of here. And I think this is gonna be more important for people that are on factory roof racks on your Outback Wilderness here, just because you're probably sitting a little lower. Or if you do just have more low profile crossbars, this is a great way of getting those bindings out of the way. Therefore, you're not having interaction with the roof. Now I will say it does take just a little bit of setup. Really all you're doing is removing this bolt here in the bottom, backing off this from the inside and then putting on the bolt down here. It will take a little time to set it up, but hopefully we're doing that before we find ourselves on the road. Then we can throw all of our boards and skis in here, start having a good time. So let's start taking a look at some of our dimensions here. Our usable length is gonna find ourselves a little under 22 inches. Honestly, I'd probably put it at 21.5 inches for yourself. That way you're making sure you can fit all your boards and skis on here. Of course, that nice thing about getting that up and out of the way too, you might be able to fit 2 boards on top of each other, which is great. And you are gonna have a 30.5 inch length for your overall carrier. So do keep that in mind. That's gonna be important when you are measuring your own crossbar lengths at home, and especially if you wanna start throwing some accessories on the other side. And I think that's the big advantage of the FatCat EVO 4. We're not taking up too much room as compared to that FatCat EVO 6. That's just gonna be a little bit longer, adding about 10 inches to your spacing here on your bars. So keep that in mind and start weighing your options. So the FatCat EVO 4 is still an excellent way of getting your snowboards and skis to wherever that destination might be taking you. Now, if you're asking me where it kind of sits in the market, I'd say it's a great middle ground. Personally, something I'd go with is gonna be like the Rhino-Rack ski and snowboard carrier, just because it's a little softer on my pocketbook, which is great. However, I do like a lot of the features that I'm getting here today. The ease of getting that back thing up is excellent. I really do like how it works. It does take just a little time to set up, but once you have it, it's rock solid, ready to go, which is great. The locking capabilities on here are awesome as well. Therefore, our carrier and our boards are staying on top of our vehicle when we leave it unattended. If you want to go ahead and splurge and treat yourself really nice, one thing we always suggest is going to be the Kuat grip snowboard and ski carriers. Why that is, they look really good. Kuat always well known for the looks of their accessories, but on top of that, we are utilizing these 59-inch crossbars, right? Not everybody at home is gonna have the ability to do that. And if you find yourself keeping your snowboards and skis too much inside, like kind of more towards the inside of your vehicle on the roof of your car, making it harder to get those snowboards and skis, one thing that's great about that Kuat grip, you actually have the ability of taking that whole track out, getting your snowboards and your skis more to the side of your vehicle, making it a lot easier to get them on and off. But overall, if you're not too worried about that, I think the FatCat EVO is an excellent option for yourself. The 4 is great. If you need a little bit more, go ahead and check out that 6 as well. But overall, just a very decent way of getting our snowboards and our skis to where we need to go. Otherwise, though, I think that about does it for our look here today at the FatCat EVO 4 on our 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness. I'm Bobby. Thanks for watching.